Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. I've been very keen to get this guy in hand. I've been teasing images of him for some time. It is of course the Fans Hobby Master Builder series Energy Commander MB-18. One of my most anticipated figures behind their G2 Megatron. Come on Fans Hobby, where is he? We want our big chunky G2 Megs. This is of course based on the Energon version of Prime, sometimes known as Fatimus Prime, because he was a little rotund when you looked at the toy form of him. We get the trailer with the missiles, we've got him in his cab. Take a look at the box. Jean Command, it's literally just missing like a Toys R Us price label, isn't it? God, it really does bring me back. I actually missed the whole Cybertron trilogy first time round. I was at the end of high school and then starting work. It wasn't until I had my first son that I kind of really got into it. We sat and watched kind of the Unicron trilogy together, and that's when it kind of connected with me. And I loved kind of the nods in Armada where you'd see some of the sequences from the first, and then Energon, it had that kind of mix, that kind of hybrid. And then we, of course, had Cybertron. I mean, what a time we live in that we're now getting these. I know a lot of my friends, this is their Transformers, Energon, Armada, you know, those Unicron trilogy figures. And it's really good to see Fans Hobby stepping out and doing something different. You get the MP companies all making the same figures, all competing against each other, whereas Fans Hobby has stepped away and said, you know what, let's make something different. And here we have him out of his plastic prison. Now, as well as everything you see, we also get a selection of stickers that we can apply. And we get the collector's card as well. I think I always liked this because it always used to remind me of Thunderbirds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got kind of your Thunderbird rescue. You got a Thunderbird 2, Thunderbird 1. Was it Thunderbird 4 that used to be lowered down from Thunderbird 2? I think, but yeah, these really kind of reminded me of those. Kind of reminisced from Thunderbirds as a kid, and I think it kind of hit that nostalgic vibe with me. And I think Fans Hobby have done an amazing job at kind of capturing that as well. Let's just take a look at these little dudes. Before we get to Prime himself, we've got the extending ladder section there. Gorgeous orange on him. Everything rolls as it should. Let's go to 3, just because that's how it's set up. Look at this. Oh, it actually moves. That is sensational. I love that. It's these wheels on the bottom here. Yeah, that's right, yeah, as they move. This turns. We have our helicopter. Doesn't spin remarkably well, and clearance is slight, but it's clearance nonetheless. Does exactly what it needs to, and we get our submarine as well. Very easy to get these ready. Just literally flip these sections here down and flip these up. I love the fact that they've made Prime's trailer modular. You can actually separate all 4 sections. The wheels come off and you can actually make it into different shapes. You can have them set up as kind of like a garage. So they come along and you can have the vehicles coming out. I mean, that's something they didn't need to do, but that is a very welcome option indeed. We still have the gun, and we have a hinged door, and of course each section has its own exit hinge, and we can actually slide the vehicles out. These sections here slide up along, and we can get the vehicles out. Fabulous, isn't it? Something they didn't need to do at all, but they've made it practical. They've made the trailer do something that the original didn't, and I love it. I mean, what's not to love about how that looks? The trailer hitch comes around, helps steady the back section, and then we can have all of our vehicles kind of launching. The whole thing literally strips right down. You pull it apart in the center, slide these sections out from either side, and then we've got connection tabs that basically line up with each other. So you can connect those in like so. So 1, 2, but the downside is that this one has to be on the outside. Nothing can kind of tab in around there. Really, you would like slight change in 3, or make this hinge here removable, but it is pinned. I mean, we can go 4, 4, 3, 1, 2, like so. Then you can have them all kind of lift up, as you see 4, and lift 4 up, and we'll show you that kind of launch feature. Just bring that forwards, and that will bring them out to the front. But yeah, unfortunately, downside there, I can't see a way of working around getting 2 to slide in. I mean, I suppose we could always put 2 up onto the next level. Again, you've got these grip tabs, and it's just a matter of sliding those in, and they slide into position like so and like so, and it's then just sliding this in like so, and then pushing down. So then that's now in, and then you can open up this one. There we go. But like I said, I would really like the option to have 2 in here and come on the inside, but it's still a nice mix-up nonetheless. Right, now let's have a look at Captain Rounded himself. This is a really heavy piece. Way heavier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like their Armada Prime. This guy's got some serious heft to him. Love that chrome on the front there. Of course, we have rubber wheels that do indeed roll. We can just lift this section up, bring the arms up out of the back, bring this section up, bring the arms up out of the back. And just while he's there, look, see, it is a big one, isn't it? All things considered. Right, these are going to come up like so, come around to the underside, and these detach like this, open up, this comes down, this comes down like this. Now in the instructions it looks like this is meant to fold inwards onto here, but it doesn't. That puts a lot of stress on this hinge here, which it shouldn't do. You need to bend that up, tap that into the underside, and that's going to come in and close. So again, on this side, bring that up and around, plug it into the underside, bring that up and close that off like so. Bring up the leg on a gorgeous ratchet there. You've got a hinge here. This comes down like so. There's a hinge at the back here. That's going to form the heel spur. And when we open this, we can now poke through the foot, which lets us bring the actual foot section up. We then got a flap at the back here, which we can flip up and cover off the back of the foot, and then bring the shin piece in. And then we've got little chunky primes, legs all looking superb. Untab these arms, bring them out of the way, make sure the legs are separated so we've got room to move, and these are going to rotate at the thighs, bringing those legs around. That way you can now tilt the feet inwards. The hip skirt piece is going to flip open, come down and flatten, which allows this torso piece to then rotate around. These can then come down like so, and this can then come off and close off, forming the front of the crotch. Top flaps open like so. The arm is going to slide outwards like this. Prime's head can then be brought up. Come on, up we come like so, and this is going to be rotated around. So we've got the regular head at the front. These can come up and out, come up and out, and this whole piece here can slide forwards, like so, bringing the abs and chest in line. This piece here comes up, and these are going to come either side. That's going to tab into the top. This splits like so. This piece comes up, and this is going to lay back down, out of the way, and slide in like so. And they have the wheels at waist combination. This comes in, it's going to tab, this unpugs, so we've got some articulation there. This is going to collapse in on this hinge here, like so, and then this is going to collapse, this comes up, and that's going to sit up at the rear, like so. Now you can have it so these convert backwards as well, so you have all three, but this is kind of how I remember my Prime. And this comes here, flip those hands out, that comes down, and then rotate the fists, and there we have Chunkimus looking absolutely ravishing. Now, I do have a gripe with this. I'm not sure it's something they can rectify. Maybe it's something they can update with future releases or the future figure. I'm not a fan of the head sculpt. Prime looks about 100 years too young. There's no kind of age to that. It's almost fresh out of his protoform stage on that face. I mean, other than that, he's pretty much spot on. I love the fact that this kind of tucks down behind the head. But yeah, it just looks very youthful indeed, which is a shame because I want him to look kind of more rough and ready. But my goodness me, he does look sensational, albeit way too young. For a quick scale comparison, here we have him alongside Hotshot, of course Energon Megatron, and we've got Fans Hobby's own take on Armada Prime in his super mode. I really hope they do a Megatron as well. Don't get me wrong, the Megatron from Energon was superb. They done like the Galvatron recolor as well. But that being said, can you imagine if they also ended up giving us the likes of Omega Supreme as well? So all of this would kind of work together. That would be absolutely insane, wouldn't it? But yes, they look fabulous. And here he is alongside TE01 Optimus Prime. It looks like kind of father and son day out, doesn't it? Yeah, but there's a bit of scale difference. I mean, he's a large Voyager, I guess, just shy of Leader. Before we get him transformed up, let's take a look at the articulation. Head can go up, down, left and right on this neck joint here. Shoulders ratcheted up to the side there. Rotation, double jointed bend, rotation at the wrist. There is a waist rotation in there. No abdominal crunch in there from what I can see. I don't think this section here is locked. We do have those hip skirts to the front, side and rear, allowing the legs to come this far forwards. And back, out to the side, upper thigh rotation. There is a bend on that knee. Very odd bend, but a bend nonetheless, a very high bend. And we get feet up and down, pivoting left and right. So we can get a kind of nice wide stance. Now to get him transformed up, we're going to rotate the fists back up, open up the hands, bring these in, close those off. This is going to come up, this comes up, and this is going to rotate. Come to the feet, flip these panels up. These are going to come back inside, like so. It's going to come down. This is going to flip. This comes down. And then this goes into that void. The legs push outwards. And as you push this joint in, the kneecap slides on this tab here. That now allows the lower leg to come down. So we have a much deeper bend, and these now sit up higher on the thighs. There's an additional faceplate behind the irregular face, so this can flip around and around like so. That's the superhead sculpt. This can then come back up from the back, comes up over to the front there, and these are going to close in around those ears. The chest panel opens like so, and opens like so. These is going to come untabbed because this lower section here actually extends like that, unlocking this additional area. And then if you look here, this now locks this piece in. If you want to get that back in, you push those in and they unlock it. Yeah, I'm wondering if these should have stayed tucked in for normal robot mode. I don't know. But anyway, we untuck those. These slides down like so. That is very stiff, that additional crotch piece. And then we just bring that down, bring that down. Start transforming up the limbs so we can get those ready for combined form. Bring that up. Wing mirrors need to come down so this can come up. Same on this side, wing mirrors down so this can come up like so. This is going to rotate under and come around to the back. This rotates under, comes around to the back, and that hinges like so. So we have an arm, it's going to come in. Look, we've got a lovely fist there. This hinge here comes up, slides under, this compresses, this comes down like so. Helicopter blades all come together, this lifts up. Again, we're going to reveal that tab at the back there. These are going to lift up, flip around. This lifts up like so, up like so, and like so, allowing this section here to come up. This is then going to come over like so, and around to the back, up, over, around like this. And then we've got this panel here which folds inwards, and then we've got secondary arm, flip over. I believe we just turn that and have that down like so. Right, this is going to open up, this is going to come down, these are going to come down, this is going to flip like so, and that's going to rotate. This slides in to this void here. These are going to flip around. They're on this rotating hinge, and as you bring them around, they're going to come around into the center. So do that with both. Bring that around, bring them both into the center, and bring those down like so. This is then going to extend, and you know that it's fully out because there is a hinge underneath here. That circle is completely submerged, so that goes in like so. And then you would just open up these sections here, and it could be the left or the right hand, but I want to turn the drill into the leg. So I'm going to recompress this. I'm going to flip these back around and have them down. So let's flip that back down like so, and flip that around. So these are here. And this here is now going to slide upwards like this. This is going to rotate, and that's going to come around and form the front of the shin. These are going to come up, and we can then flip them into the back of the heel. And of course, lifting this section up, locking this into place now gives us that ankle tilt. And 4, like 3, can also become both. But for this purposes, I'm going to transform him up into his foot mode. So this is going to come out like so. This then folds in like so, and that's going to come in. We have this tab on the back here. This is going to open up and slide down. these sections undo. That's where you'd find access to the hand. So we can bring these sections here out. They're going to form the heel spurs. We can then bring those back in, and those are going to just nip and tidy up. Now we can start building our prime. The legs are just going to slide in. What a satisfying click. Again, satisfying. And come on. Really satisfying. And here he is, fully combined up in one of his multiple forms. They all form legs, they all form hands, and he looks sensational. That is a great homage to the original toy. Absolutely adore what they've done. He looks sensational. I can't seem to find an ankle tilt on Blue. Number 4, I wonder if there is one in there somewhere. I've loosened that front kind of caption area there, so it doesn't quite hold on as tightly around the shin, because there seems to be a bend kind of higher up. I can't seem to find one on that ankle, but maybe that's just something I've overlooked. But he definitely looks the part. It is fantastic. Again, face does look a little bit too young for my opinion, but this just screams Energon, doesn't it? I mean, this is definitely not out of place with the vintage Energon stuff, but it's been brought straight into the modern day era with all of that articulation, all of those options, and a build quality to boot. You know exactly what you're getting with Fans Hobbies. You get top class customer care. If anything does go wrong, you really can't ask for more. They take time and pride in their work. You can tell that they're made by fans for fans. Now, it's not quite as big as their Armada Prime, but he's still a very good size when he's in this combined form. Towers over the official Energon Megatron. Honestly, can't wait for them to do one that same sort of size. Fingers crossed. And imagine an Omega Supreme done that this guy could fit in. How incredible would that be? Hey, maybe we'll get some more figures from this wave as well that can kind of combine. Was it Super Link it was called, wasn't it? Where they would join. But yeah, really liking what they've done. Sensational piece. Not without its flaws. Like I said, articulation in this is a little bit clunky. When we put everything together, you can't quite bring the forearms up higher due to those fold down wheel pieces. Articulation on the hands and wrists is really good. Again, with the waist, very, very nice. And those ratchets on the legs are very robust and will last. But it's things like the ankles. I don't think you can get quite enough on them to get a crazy dynamic pose. I mean, Digger, yeah, I think there's enough on Digger, but I just can't get this one to drop down. But that is an absolutely sensational sculpt. He looks incredible. Possibly one of my favorite Fans Hobby pieces to date. If you already have this, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What could they have done differently? If anything, who else from the Energon line would you like to see? Personally, I'd like them to do kind of a Shockwave. He was one of my favorites. Was he 6 gun or something? I'd definitely like to see some more Decepticons done. Some more Prime. Maybe we'll get a Kicker as well. But for now, this is a ruddy good entry into a line that I loved. And hey, it's Fatimus Prime, so it's a Prime I can relate to. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives to watch my content. And until next time, for myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.